Mechanism. A system of doing something. Survival mechanism. Coping mechanism. Underlying mechanism. Defense mechanism. This defense mechanism protects vulnerable animals from potential predators. Distribution. The act of dividing something among people. Geographical distribution. Population distribution. Asymmetric distribution. Balanced distribution. The map shows the distribution of population across the African continents. Precautionary. Done, or used for protection in advance. A precautionary measure. A precautionary step. A precautionary approach. Precautionary action. Several precautionary measures were taken in the experimental phase of the design. Constructive. Intended to be useful or helpful. Constructive discussion. Constructive criticism. Constructive approach. Constructive engagement. The President urged all parties to play a constructive role in the reform process. Antagonism. Strong dislike or opposition. Personal antagonism. Racial antagonism. Deep-rooted antagonism. Strong antagonism. The gap between rich and poor is widening and class antagonism is growing. Alternative. Two or more available possibilities. Alternative medicine. Alternative viewpoints. Alternative hypothesis. Alternative technology. Experts are developing an alternative approach to treating the chronic disease. Optimum. The most favorable situation. Optimum level. Optimum condition. Optimum result. Optimum temperature. The layout of the city center makes optimum use of the space available. Meticulous. Showing great attention to detail. Meticulous care. Meticulous attention. Meticulous detail. Meticulous planning. Many hours of meticulous preparation have gone into designing the gallery. Cumulative. Increasing by successive additions. Cumulative effect. Cumulative development. Cumulative risks. Cumulative results. Depression is often triggered by the cumulative effects of stress and overwork. Architecture. Designing and constructing buildings. Classical architecture. Medieval architecture. Baroque architecture. Contemporary architecture. The museum exemplifies the style of architecture which was popular at the time. Backlash. A strong negative reaction. A political backlash. A conservative backlash. A public backlash. A violent backlash. The government is facing an angry backlash from voters over the new tax. Artifacts. Objects that have historical importance. Historical artifacts. Cultural artifacts. Abstract artifacts. Graphic artifacts. This precious artifact was created during the 17th century in Ireland. Contradiction. Ideas in opposition to one another. A direct contradiction. An apparent contradiction. Obvious contradiction. Seeming contradiction. A new scientific hypothesis is in flat contradiction to the theory of relativity. Primitive. Relating to the earliest age or period. A primitive tribe. A primitive society. A primitive belief. A primitive instinct. Early settlers in America had to cope with very primitive living conditions. Salient. Most noticeable or important. A salient feature. A salient point. A salient fact. A salient issue. Long-term fatigue is also one of the salient features of depression. Eloquent. Fluent, or persuasive in speaking or writing. Eloquent speech. Eloquent argument. Eloquent testimony. Eloquent appeal. A person who is eloquent is good at communication and able to persuade people. Restoration. Putting something into its original condition. Restoration of sovereignty. Restoration of democracy. Restoration of good health. Restoration of an economy. Many of the historical buildings have undergone extensive restoration. Competence. The ability to do something successfully. Academic competence. Cognitive competence. Professional competence. Technical competence. The Navy selection process is based on rigorous tests of competence and experience. Extraterrestrial. From outside the Earth, or its atmosphere. Extraterrestrial life. Extraterrestrial intelligence. Extraterrestrial phenomena. Extraterrestrial civilization. Discovering extraterrestrial intelligence would have profound significance. Affiliate. Organizations connected with larger groups. Affiliate marketing. Affiliate programs. Affiliate link. Affiliate products. The universities are aligned to affiliate with other academic institutions. Adverse. Having a negative or harmful effect. Adverse effects. Adverse reaction. Adverse outcome. Adverse circumstances. The tournament has been cancelled because of adverse weather conditions. Adjacent. Being in close proximity. Adjacent building. Adjacent neighborhood. Adjacent area. Adjacent land. The land is conveniently located adjacent to the industrial area. Efficient. Working well and producing good results. Fuel efficient. Energy efficient. Highly efficient. Extremely efficient. The procedure is not completely efficient, improvements could be made. Archaeological. Relating to archaeology. Archaeological evidence. Archaeological finds. Archaeological site. Archaeological treasure. New archaeological discoveries prove the existence of many old civilizations. Ally. A country that agrees to help or support. Ally in a war. Ally in a campaign. Wartime ally. Political ally. Central parties are more powerful and less likely to need allies. Amend. Make changes to improve something. Amend a law. Amend a bill. Amend a treaty. Amend a legislation. the ministry agreed to amend the constitution and allow multi-party elections. Anatomical. Meaning, relating to the structure of the body. Anatomical studies. Anatomical structures. Anatomical specimen. Anatomical drawing. The research finding is a precise anatomical snapshot of the brain. Anesthetic. Pertaining to or causing physical insensibility. Inject an anesthetic. Administer an anesthetic. Require an anesthetic. Use an anesthetic. This therapy requires a small operative procedure and a local anesthetic. Belief. An acceptance that something exists or is true. Widely held belief. Long-standing belief. Popular belief. Traditional belief. It is our belief that we will find a cure for cancer in the next 10 years. Ancestor. Relative who lived a long time ago. A common ancestor. A distant ancestor. Immediate ancestor. Deceased ancestor. A lot of the people there are descended from a common ancestor. Budget. Provide a particular amount of money in a budget. Budget cuts. Budget deficit. Budget surplus. Budget shortfall. Shrinking budgets have increased competition for scarce resources in the world. Arid. Very dry and without enough rain for plants. An arid land. An arid region. An arid landscape. An arid desert. The crops cannot grow well in the arid ground because the soil is too dry. Assert. To state firmly that something is true. Confidently assert. Bluntly assert. Boldly assert. Repeatedly assert. Managers are usually reluctant to assert their authority over their employees. Atomic. Propelled or driven by atomic energy. Atomic energy. Atomic weapons. Atomic bomb. Atomic particles. The consumption of atomic energy will revolutionize the lives of coming generations. Disease. An illness that affects a person. Disease-prone. Disease-carrying. Disease-causing. Disease-stricken. Health experts are working to stop the spread of disease in rural areas. Attain. To achieve something difficult to do. Attain enlightenment. Attain perfection. Attain a goal. Attain an objective. In this wild, many of the species attain a large size, and all are of very rapid growth. Audit. Conduct an official financial inspection. Audit a company. Audit an account. An audit committee. An audit report. Each year they audit our accounts and confirm them as being true and fair. Expected. Believed to be going to happen. Higher than expected. Larger than expected. Longer than expected. Lower than expected. It's expected that new job opportunities will be available next year. Organ. An organ is a part of the body. Organ damage. Organ donation. Organ recipient. Organ transplant. It has been established that the human brain is an incredibly complex organ. Apparatus. Piece of equipment used for specific activities. Breathing apparatus. Electrical apparatus. Underwater apparatus. Mechanical apparatus. The company lacked the scientific personnel to promote the technical apparatus. Religious. Relating to or believing in a religion. Religious conservatives. Religious gathering. Religious prejudice. Religious background. For most people, liberty means the freedom to practice their religious and political beliefs. Unpredictable. Not able to be predicted or uncertain. Unpredictable result. Unpredictable situation. Unpredictable weather. Unpredictable consequences. The unpredictable weather makes it sunny one day and rainy the next. White collar. Relating to people who work in offices. A white-collar worker. A white-collar employee. A white-collar occupation. A white-collar union. White-collar workers now work longer hours than the blue-collar. Activists. One who advocates or practices activism. Animal rights activist. Labor union activist. Anti-slavery activist. Anti-tobacco activist. There are many activists in different countries contacted on the animal rights issue.